redo the introduction. My name is Bill Severud. I'm a grad student at the University of Minnesota. This is Dr. Peter Jordan. We're conducting a COWCH interview, Conserving Our Cultural Wildlife Heritage. And today is May 6th, 2016. This is part of a follow-up to our interview that we conducted on April 21st, 2016. And we have Ryan Keenan behind the camera.
Hello.
Working, he is as an undergrad at the University of Minnesota Fisheries and Wildlife and Conservation Biology Department. Okay, so one of the things you wanted to show us was your dissertation, which is this.
Just extent.
Yeah, the extent of it. So this.
You're welcome to borrow it if you just wanted to.
Yeah. I'll take this back to the department and show some of the other grad students. So 278 pages, and it's.
The main problem is that I never published a publication.
Okay.
That was very bad.
So it's Ecology of Migratory Deer in the San Joaquin River Drainage.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is from University of California, Berkeley in June of 1967. And is this is the study that you where you put bells on deer?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because radios just come into use. And people were having a lot of trouble with them. And I said, I don't need a lot of trouble. And I'm awfully glad, because one thing about using bells is you didn't know which deer it was until you saw it. And so when you saw it, you knew who it was with and what it was doing. Whereas with the radio, you just say, oh, it's there, put it on the map and move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I got a lot more detail.
Did you have them individually marked with ear tags, or that's?
Absolutely.
And was it ear tags or
Both.
both? Okay.
And then colored patterns. So I recognize, oh, this is a red triangle, that's so and so.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked.
So you were able to look at associations between different animals as well, and
Yeah.
so a lot of detail. Wow.
See if the fawns were staying with their does the next year and that sort of thing.
And at that time, was there a lot of predation pressure on that population?
No. There were coyotes, but predation was it was there, but it was minor.
Okay.
We didn't have wolves. I think wolves have been eliminated from California a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they've just gotten back in.
Yes, yeah. Just heard some.
Which is really neat.
Well, at the Wolf Stewards meeting last week, there was someone from Iowa that was presenting, and they've had 4 wolves killed in Iowa in the past year.
No kidding.
2 males and 2 females.
I had no idea they were down.
Yeah, all in different parts of the state, and the 2 males were both around 100 pounds. So.
That's good size.
Yeah. And I think there's a newly established Wisconsin pack in far southwestern Wisconsin.
I always thought of them just up in the very north. I didn't realize they were in south.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're moving.
Yeah.
They're definitely moving.
Oh, well, just the way they occupied several states after that one introduction into Yellowstone was just amazing.
Right. Yeah, I think they're starting to move into Colorado.
Yeah, oh, definitely in Colorado, because they went directly from Yellowstone into Colorado, but then into Washington, Oregon, and even down into California.
Yeah.
Well, you very enlightened interviewing me about that.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk to him. When I spoke to him a few days ago, he said there's there's a wolf pack just at Cedar Creek, just north of the cities. So they're expanding. It seems like they're expanding their range in Minnesota as well.
Yeah. But there's still a hunting season in Minnesota, right?
No, they've been back on the list.
They've canceled that. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So
I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, I think the harvest was for 2, maybe 3 years before they got put back on the list.
Okay.
I think it was maybe just 2 years.
That's good.
So we were looking up some of your list of publications, and some of them that we found were a lot of your ungulate work, and then we also found one on the use of salt blocks by mountain hares in Sweden with Bill Faber.
Yeah. Have you met Bill?
Yes.
Well, I brought him over there, and I thought it was just for 1 summer, and he stayed 12 years. Got a PhD and all sorts of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he is. Yeah, he is back in Minnesota now.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to the big moose conference is going to be in Canada, but a lot of people are coming from Sweden.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's next fall.
So, did you spent several sabbaticals in Sweden? Is that right?
More than sabbaticals. I was over there for a number of months, working at. They have a really neat. I first went over there. It was one of these international meetings, and they took us around, but they showed us where the research station was, and man. So I'm coming back to this place.
Yeah.
They had moose there, and it was just very comfortable, complete. Called Grimm Soda.
I've heard Bill Faber mention Grimm Soda a lot,
yeah.
and I've seen it a lot in the literature, of course. So another one of the papers that we found was relating wolfscat content to prey consumed.
I don't even remember that one.
You and Dave Meach were both authors on that one.
Yeah.
And it was from 1978, and I wonder if that was one of the first papers that kind of took that approach.
That I wouldn't know.
Okay, all right. But I know that approach is still being used today.
Yeah.
Steve Windles has a student up at Voyageurs right now, he's.
Are you working with him?
Not directly right now, but in the past I did my master's with Steve studying beavers at Voyageurs.
Yeah.
But his current student is doing really fine scale diet analysis, and he's collected over 1,000 scats from different wolf packs. So he's looking at very fine scale seasonal changes, and
Wow.
and he's looked at a lot of scat.
that is impressive.
He is also located, I think, 19 different wolf-killed beavers, and he's trying to kind of piece together how wolves might be hunting beavers.
Yeah.
And he's found that a lot of times the wolves will be... He's using GPS-collared wolves to look at this. So he's looking for clusters of locations, and then he goes to investigate and then looks for any sign of prey consumed. And in these 19 cases, he's found beaver remains. And he found that oftentimes there's... They find that the wolves are bedded down really near beaver ponds, near active beaver lodges, just downstream of the dams, and that's where they find these kill sites too, sometimes.
Yeah, because the beavers are pretty safe as long as they're in the water, but they do come out of the water to cut down trees and so on, and they're very vulnerable now. Yeah.
And he thinks he has evidence also of sometimes the beavers using their canals, and they've been pulled out of the canals by the wolves. So they're not in the deep water where they're safe, but they are coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
My son works with what is it? Salmon in Oregon. And they got the smart idea that for the salmon to be able to breed more easily, they needed more water. And so they began importing beavers into those areas.
Oh.
And Chris, my son, met Steve, and he paid Steve to come out and tell him how to catch beavers. And
Wow. Wow. So they live trapped and translocated beavers into areas where they wanted them?
I don't know if they flew them in, but they trapped them and hauled them in one way or another.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, these things were all accessible by roads. I assume that's the way it was done.
Yeah. So another paper that we found was the time energy budget for moose.
I don't even remember that.
You and Gary Belofsky
Yeah.
working on those types of things? Okay. And then also you had done some work on the potential for caribou reintroduction to Minnesota.
Well, there was a lot of talk about it, yeah.
And
I forgot about these.
yeah.
Well, my memory is terrible.
So was there a committee looking at whether or not it was feasible to reintroduce caribou, or what was going on with that?
I can't recall just what the administrative approach to that was. It would have been DNR, but and I know that there's one guy still very interested in caribou. You probably know who he is. He works close to the Indian reservation up near Duluth.
Mike Schrag?
Yes,
Okay.
that is the guy.
Mm-hmm. I know he's also very interested right now in elk restoration.
Yeah.
They're looking into doing that.
That's more what he's interested in, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely wants to bring them into that reservation.
Yeah, yeah. Have you done any work with elk?
No.
No?
I
Okay.
haven't.
So, I know one of your more recent papers was with Steve Windle's, looking at deer foraging on senescent shrubs.
A recent paper?
Yeah, I think it was in 2010, maybe?
Hmm.
Maybe on some data that he collected when he was an undergrad with you. Is that...
Well, I'm pulling a blank on that one. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that's all right, that's all right.
The only two recent ones that I've done is, have you seen the one about the wolves chasing moose across the lake?
I've seen the video that you've
seen the video
Yes.
itself, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you want to tell the story of that.
Well, I have a paper, in fact, somewhere around here. I know I could give you a reprint of that.
Okay.
That's a pretty short one, but we were very fortunate. My colleague had a camera with a video in it, so that's how you got the video.
So who were you with? Who took the video? Okay.
He's a co-author.
Okay, all right. We'll look that up. So what?
Possibly somebody you know.
What happened? You guys were just kind of at an overlook and you could see the pond and.
Exactly. But we could also see the wolves coming across a big flat area, and we saw a moose down there, and she was making noises. And what I'm sure is that the wolves heard those noises, and bang, they just came right towards. They just came up to the edge. So she was about maybe 7 or 8 feet down a little bank, and she was in the water, and they just leapt on top of her.
Wow.
Yeah, chased her across the lake, and then chased her out of sight. But we knew darn well that they nailed her when she came out of the water. And we told the people who were working with wolves up there. And they sure as heck they went in the next day and found the carcass.
Wow. Wow. Do you know why the moose was vocalizing, or what kind of noises it was making, or?
No, I really don't.
Hmm.
I mean, they do make some kinds of noises. Sometimes it's to keep track of their calf. There weren't any calves. There was a yearling nearby that just watched it, but that moose was not in contact with her.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. So are there any other papers that or anything that you'd want to talk about, or any stories behind some of them?
Well, the other paper that I did recently, and again, I'm sure I can find you a reprint. In fact, there may be one right here. It's on methods, particularly emphasizing all of the plots that I established on Isle Royal.
So that was the vegetation plots,
Yeah,
looking at snowshoe hare and moose browse.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think last time I was here, you gave me a copy.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
well, you've seen it.
Yep. But you and Ron Moen
Yeah,
did that.
yeah, because Ron Mullen has a little company that can publish stuff. So he's the one that published it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know how long those plots have been sampled?
Well, they haven't been sampled too much
Mm-hmm.
because I was getting them in just about the time that I came down with all these problems and had to stop doing field work.
Okay.
I had established all the plots, but I had not done much data collecting on them.
Okay.
And they could all be relocated. In fact, we had some sort of radio locations where we could read our I don't know what.
Yeah, GPS.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Okay.
And they shouldn't be put to use. So they do a pretty good job of covering the island.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I'm curious to know a little more about our department.
Yeah. Well, we just heard that the Gullion chair is the new hire has been made. The new person is Dr. Joseph Bump.
Never heard of him.
He's an associate professor from Michigan Tech. He's been working on a lot of, let's see, how herbivores can structure ecosystems kind of by aquatic and terrestrial linkages.
Mm.
And he also did I think a big part of his doctoral work was looking at moose carcasses on Isle Royal and how they're kind of a pulse of nutrients into the system.
Wow.
And that there's increases in nitrogen and other nutrients that can be detected for years after the carcass has been gone.
Sounds like pretty relevant and interesting research. Yeah.
Yeah, and for his chalk talk as part of his interview, he talked about snowpack dynamics and using technology from the avalanche science world to measure different snowpack conditions in different predator-prey systems. So he has this probe that you kind of push through the snow, and it can give you a profile of the crustiness of the snow and the different layers, and then you can kind of extrapolate what kind of foot loading would go through at each level. And so it's a much more detailed look at snow rather than just looking at snow depth
Yeah.
or extent or snow water equivalent and other things. It's much more detailed. And his proposal was then that he could give these probes to existing predator-prey studies in snowy regions, and then just kind of ask them to collect these whenever they're going out to kill sites, and so he was really excited about that, and I think the department was really excited about this as well.
What was his name?
Joe Bump.
Bump.
Yep.
I'm sorry I haven't met him, and I'm sorry I didn't hear his talk.
Yeah, I was really impressed by him, and I had met him before at a few different conferences, the Western Great Lakes Research Conference and the Wildlife Society Conference in Milwaukee, and he was always very enthusiastic and very supportive of research, and he sounded like just a really terrific person.
He's a good person.
So I think he'll be a really great addition to the.
And then you heard the paper given at the Wildlife Society this year down in wherever that was.
Mankato.
Mm-hmm. You heard that.
The which paper do you mean?
Well, there were two of them. There's the gal who was done all the physiological stuff.
Michelle Carsonson.
Yeah,
Yep.
They sort of, those two papers were linked together.
Yeah, and then Glenn's paper after that.
And they sort of came to the conclusion that climate change has had a lot of effect. And I commented that, well, you've convinced me.
I remember your comment.
Yeah.
Yep, I was at those papers. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I've been working with Glenn on that part, using the snow urine technique. Yes, and I know you were a part of the development of that technique.
I did develop it.
Yeah.
as a matter of fact.
Well, that's been it's been showing some really interesting patterns so far, and we just finished up another season of collecting snow urines, so those samples should be analyzed soon. So when Glenn presented in Mankato, he only had 3 data points, and the relationships were pretty exciting, but only 3 data points. Yeah. So we'll see where this 4th one goes. This past winter was pretty mild, so we'll see how that affected the UNC ratios.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As soon as we find out, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And actually, Glenn wants to present on that in at the Moose Conference as well.
Good.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that Moose Conference should be something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.